Happy Monday on a nice 7-1 run. And now it's time to talk the second round of the NBA playoffs. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back with another week of NBA playoff basketball, baby. That's right. Every single series is over in the first round. Finally, after Game 7, the Cavs taking it and knocking out the Magic. So we are second round, and we're moving forward closer and closer to the NBA Finals. It's getting pretty exciting. So as you just heard, 7-1 run. We will take it. We got to keep that rolling. I want to have another great week this week. But before we get anything, just a reminder. Our MLB Best Bets video will be out after this video, and it has a ton of research help, and we are on a nice 23-10 run there. So go check that out, but I'm ready to get right into it. We got two games, but of course, we start with the dad joke. So here we go. My dad jokes have been a little weak lately, so we're bringing in a viewer. So here we go. This is someone who subscribes, who's a member, all that. He left a comment. This is his. Here we go. From at the Half Man TL. You know how I figured out flour and yeast are related? They're in bread. That's pretty good. In this video, we're going to recap the weekend, and then we're going to talk good matchups. So we're not going to do rebound chances, potential assists in this one because we're starting a series. There's not a ton of info yet, and I don't want to go off past series, but we are going to talk good matchups, and then we'll give our best bets, and we'll wrap it all up with the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, and if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I want to see if we can get to 24,000 subscribers by the end of the week. That would be absolutely incredible. But I'm ready to get back into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, here is the bets recap. We start out with Friday. Franz Wagner over 4.5 assists. That was ugly. He had 0 at halftime. He was doing this. This series, I'm telling you guys, it's just been tough to bet. That's why I did not bet Game 7. But anyways, he had, I think, ended up with 2. He became the German Michael Jordan and scored 26 points. Just didn't get it done. I know I saw at least 2 or 3 in the first half. He dishes it out, and they brick a shot. It is what it is. But Ivica Zubac, a little sweaty. The game was getting out of hand, but he got the job done. I think he ended with at least 17 points, so that was a nice win. And then the Magic and Mavericks moneyline parlay, I'd say easy winner. Magic was a little sweaty, but then Mavericks won pretty easily. So then Saturday, one game, one bet, one winner. Rudy Gobert over 13.5 rebounds plus assists. I think it was 16. It was nice that he had those 3 dimes, but he did finally go over the rebounds line. I think he ended with 13. The line was at 12.5. But either way, 3-1 weekend, 7-1 run. And now we move on to the next series and try to predict how the strategies and how teams and coaches are going to play. But before we get into those best bets, let's talk the key matchups. All right, let's talk about the best matchups for these two games now. We did this at the beginning of the series in first round, and we'll do it again. We'll bring back rebound chances, potential assists as these series go on. But Dante DiVincenzo versus the Indiana Pacers. Pacers give up the 6th most points to shooting guards, and this is all last 30 days of the regular season. DiVincenzo in the 3 games versus the Pacers at 38, 20, and 14 points. So just some info there. And then the second one, I combine these two because, they can play power forward, small forward. They kind of intermix. But Josh Hart and OG Anunoby versus the Pacers. Pacers give up the 4th most points to the small forward and 9th most points to the power forward position. In the 3 games where the Knicks played the Pacers this year, OG never played. So it's hard to know what they are going to do exactly playing together against this matchup. But the small forward last round against the Pacers, Middleton scored 42, 25, and 29 points in games 3, 4, and 5. He didn't dominate every single game, and obviously he's a much different player and all that, but just letting you know what the small forward did. So the final one, we used it for already one winner in game 1. Rudy Gobert versus the Nuggets. Nuggets gave up the 12th most rebounds to the center position in the last 30 days, but they gave up the 4th most rebounds in the last 15 days. And then if you look back at last round, Anthony Davis averaged 15.6 rebounds per game. We talked about that when in that Lakers-Nuggets series. And then already in game 1, like I talked about, Rudy Gobert had 13 rebounds. In his last 3 games versus Denver this year, including game 1 of the playoffs, he has now 13, 15, and 12 rebounds against the Nuggets. So those are the 3 matchups I got. Just some more info. It doesn't mean automatically go bet all these and all that kind of stuff, but just kind of want to let you know, fill you in matchup-wise in this series. It is the playoffs, so you never know what changes. But those are the best matchups for today. And now let's talk the best bets. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, Better Bet. That's BTR Bet, the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. Click that link below in the description and go check that out. But this first one takes us out to Madison Square Garden, where the Knickerbockers are hosting the Indiana Pacers. Knicks -6 in this one with a total of 217.5. First game of the series, so let's just talk brief notes on it. Pacers won two of the three meetings in the season. And these two teams, though, have not played since February 10th. So take all these stats for what it is. But in the Pacers' two wins, they scored 140 and 125. And in the one loss versus the Knicks, they only scored 105. So here's the interesting part about this series, in my opinion. There's a big clash in pace. The Knicks played at the slowest pace in the NBA. You know how they play. They want to grind it out. They want to play defense. And the Indiana Pacers want to score before the shot clock gets down to like 20. Exaggeration, but they want to get up and go. They played at the second fastest pace. Who's going to control the pace? Who's going to make the other team play their style of basketball? It's going to be interesting. But my best bet in this game is a player prop. Give me Jalen Brunson under 8.5 assists at plus 105 on DraftKings. So we've talked about this matchup a few times. Not Brunson necessarily, but the Pacers versus point guards. The Pacers gave up the second fewest assists to the point guard position this year in the NBA. A big reason is they just don't mind playing one-on-one. They really don't. If you watch them play, they're not going to overhelp. You see a lot of teams, leave shooters overhelp when they don't need to, and that's just not what the Pacers doing or have done at least. In the three games versus the Pacers this year, Jalen Brunson 4, 1, and 6 assists. And I know he's playing more minutes in the playoffs. This is just part of my handicap, not everything. But he still played 37, 37, and 41 minutes in those three games. And then I've been diving deeper into different stats and things like that. And I found a stat with this is that the Pacers gave up the lowest catch and shoot frequency in the NBA. That means they're not allowing their opponents to just catch and shoot. Well, that makes sense, right? It's called catch and shoot. So OG Anunoby, all these guys, they're not going to just be sitting wide open all over the three-point line. And big reason of that, because the defense stays home, obviously, like we talked about. They don't just all collapse into the paint, leave shooters everywhere. That means less assists for Jalen Brunson to just kick out to wide open shooters. I think Brunson could absolutely cook him. I mean, he could score 40. He could score 45 in this game. Over points was an option for me, but instead I went with the under assist. But you guys do what you want to do. I just let you know, the points total, I think it was 33.5, 34.5. It's high. But in this matchup, it is a pretty good one, that's for sure. So now it's the playoffs. It's game one. Could Carlisle and this coaching staff be changing strategy behind my back without telling me? Absolutely. But they've been playing one way the entire season. I can't imagine it changing. So if you look at Jalen in the first series, so first of all, he went under this 8.5 line in all three home games, and they're at home again. So in those three home games against the Sixers, which is an easier assist matchup, he had 6, 6, and a 7 assists. So he averaged 6.7 assists per game in the regular season. I mean, guys, we're talking he has to go over his average. And even if he does, if he goes to 8 assists, we still get under, and it's a very tough matchup. So like I said, I think he could score a lot, but I think assists are going to be a little bit harder to come by. Maybe the team comes out shooting a little flat after a long series and now have to start with the Indiana Pacers. But either way, I just like the matchup for the Pacers. Again, Brunson's assist line in the first series, it started at like 6.5. We're starting this series at 8.5. I get the Pacers play a little faster, but it's a completely different type of defense now. I think 8.5 is a touch too low. I'm going to take the under 8.5. Obviously, we need a little luck. If guys are just knocking down every single shot he passes to them, then we'll be in trouble. But I'll take my chances. Give me Brunson under 8.5 assists as my first best bet. All right, before we get into that second bet, we got a new promotion out right now with FanDuel. That's right, new customers only. Bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets if you win that first bet. Just go put it on some huge favorite, win it, and get $150 in bonus bets. The only way to do it, go to that description below, find the FanDuel link, sign up, and you get this promotion. It's a great deal, limited time only. It just came out. So if you are in an eligible state and you are not signed up yet on FanDuel, now is the time. And of course, you must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, back to the bets. All right, this second game takes us out to Denver, Colorado. We got the Nuggets hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves in game 2. Nuggets -5.5. Total in this game is 205.5. We're already into the series. I'm not going to give you the head-to-heads and all that, but we saw the Timberwolves take care of business and win in Denver. That is not easy to do as the T-Wolves just stay scorching hot right now in the playoffs. I got a little creative with this bet. Now, before I get into this bet, I will say Gobert over 13.5 rebounds plus assists again is definitely on the table. I may still even add it for a half unit or something. I'm not sure adjustments. I expect the Nuggets to not miss as many shots. We'll see how it goes, but I do like it. I'm going with something different. Give me Karl Anthony Towns, 15 plus points, and KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope, under 10.5 points at minus 115 on DraftKings. Yes, these are both alt lines, and I'm going to call this the king of the initials bet. That's right. We got Cat and KCP. So let's talk about Mr. Cat, 15 plus. He scored 20 in game one already. And I think he's going to see more opportunities because we saw Anthony Edwards absolutely cook this Denver Nuggets team. And I think they're going to try to have a game plan of making someone else beat them other than Edwards. Easier said than done, obviously. But I think Cat's going to get even more looks, maybe some more open looks from deep. He only took 4 threes in the first game. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't take more. But in the last 20 games that Karl Anthony Towns has played 30 or more minutes, he scored 15 or more in 19 of those 20. So, I mean, I'm not asking for a ton here, guys. And I know he only played 30 minutes on the dots because he was in foul trouble. Foul trouble is very much on the table right now. I understand that. But again, I'm not taking the over 18.5, the original line. I'm just taking 15. So if he gets in a little foul trouble, plays 28 to 30 minutes, it's not the end of the world. I don't think he needs 35 to 40 minutes to score 15 points. At least I hope not for an all-star like him. But this is a pure volume, honestly. Decent shooting night with his volume. As long as he's not just completely in foul trouble playing 18 minutes or something. I can't imagine why he doesn't get 15. I think he goes over the 18.5 line as well. Like I said, I think he gets even a few more opportunities this game. I think Edwards, maybe his assist numbers go up. I think we're going to see some more double teams, some more defensive schemes that kind of make the T-Wolves and other players beat them. So give me Cat, 15 plus points. And then KCP, who doesn't want to bet this guy? Under 10.5 points. Now, his real line is under 8.5. I think he goes over, but I love the under 10.5, and that's why we're going to take this. So he attempted only 4 shots in game one. That's right, 4, all of them 3-pointers. Not a huge surprise with him, but I don't anticipate him getting a ton more shots. I know the Nuggets are not sitting there thinking, we need to get KCP the ball if we want to win more. No, that's not the case, obviously. He has gone under this line now in 4 of 6 playoff games, with 5 of those 6 being against the Lakers. Nowhere near the defense that the Timberwolves are, obviously. T-Wolves do a good job at slowing down and stopping transition offense, which is key, because I think KCP, I mean, the chance of him going over this 10.5 is because he's just getting look after look in transition, wide open 3, knocking them all down. Because when it becomes half-court offense, he's kind of non-existent, guys. Maybe there's a break in the defense, he gets left open, but he's practically non-existent in the half-court offense, which you love to see. And let's just say, I think he's going to take like 3 to 5, maybe 6 shots this game. If he takes 6 and they are all threes, he can still go 3 for 6 and not go over this, assuming there's no free throws or anything else. So I like the 10.5. It gives you that extra 3, which is huge for a guy like this. I think we're going to see Jamal Murray have a better game. Hopefully, have a better game. We'll see. He has struggled against the T-Wolves all year, but I do think Murray takes quite a bit of shots. Joker's going to do Joker things. Probably score around 30 points again. KCP is like the 5th option. We all know that he's not even a 3rd or 4th option on this team to score. He might get a few lucky threes in transition, something like that. But again, as long as he's not going 4 for 4 from 3 or 4 for 5 or anything like that, I like my chances. So give me KCP under 10.5 points and Cat 15 plus points as my second and final best bet. And let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. Jalen Brunson under 8.5 assists at plus 105. And then Karl Anthony Towns, 15 plus points. KCP under 10.5 points at minus 115 on DraftKings. Gobert over 13.5 RAs is still very much an option as well. So those are my best bets for Monday, May 6th. Thank you guys for watching every single day. Let's see if we can get that 24,000 subscriber mark by the end of the week. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Really helps us out. Leave a comment. Just say hi. Just say nothing. Just an emoji if you want to. But check out that MLB Best Bets video, which will be out after this one as well. Thanks as always. Hope you have a great Monday. We'll talk to you soon.